We talked a little bit about permitting before, but this is more pertaining to the requirements and particular process that we go through when we're actually doing the build. The permitting process often can be viewed as a quality assurance on everything that's done on your job. But the reality is that the municipalities are very much understaffed to inspect every facet of the job on every project going on within their jurisdiction. Oftentimes, these inspectors have relationships with the contractor and also have their own internal feeling about that contractor's ability to do good work. And so they rely on that. If they have experience with contractors that lead them to mistrust them, then they are have a little more scrutiny. Also, the background of the particular inspectors plays into their ability to inspect. If they came from a primary electrical background, they're much more comfortable inspecting those systems, but they have to be knowledgeable on all areas. And this ultimately goes back to why you need to hire the right contractor, because you can't expect the town to police his quality for you. They will catch things. They will make sure it meets minimum standards, but even like we talked about, minimum standards may not be able to withstand some of the catastrophic agricultural or weather type things that will come against the build in years to come. So that is something that you just need to understand kind of up front. The building inspectors are enforcing a minimum standard versus what would be considered a quality or a premium product. They can't make the contractor do it that way. So you have to make sure you hire the contractor that is going to do that for you. And that's what Transform specifically tries to do in everything that we build and exceed the standard, which is why we rarely have issues with inspections or inspectors in town, that they know that they're coming on a job site that is done at a higher level, and they understand that we are also trustworthy in the way that we execute things. So there's obviously times where things get missed and they catch things, and most notably, more recently on a job, the inspector installed a 20 amp breaker when it was only supposed to be a 15 amp breaker for a mini split. And that got swapped out. This particular inspector had an electrical background, so they were able to get that kind of thing. And so those kinds of things happen, and those kinds of inspections end up having to be re-inspected or whatever. But the reality is that is why you want a licensed general contractor doing it, somebody that has good relationships with the inspectors, and then also is committed to kind of doing things at an above standard level as part of their standard process for the business. Warranties and guarantees, back to the commitment to excellence of the particular firm, back to running into each other in town and it being a small town. It is hard, just like the contract, when you start splitting hairs over the dotted I's and the crossed T's, and you're trying to hold somebody's feet to the fire based on some legalese verbiage in a contract. You're kind of already at a loss there because you have the wrong contractor and there's not actual work that it's already been a breakdown in trust, if you will. So we have had to do one warranty claim in our entire time of business that I can remember, and that has been when a really bad freeze came. One of the rain head supply lines for the rain head in a shower that we did was a little bit of it above the insulation and was actually froze. And so we missed actually that portion that the rain head came up above the home's insulation, should have been insulated. And so I showed up, and I'm pretty sure it was on the weekend. I showed up with a ability to defrost the rain head, and I picked up the insulating stuff and then talked the homeowner through how that even with insulation around the pipe, and even though the attic is insulation kind of enveloped that plumbing, that when we have teen days of temperature for extended period of time, that it's actually a good idea to leave the rain head maybe on a trickle. And so that, can go back. We'll probably talk to that beyond remodels and maintenance of things later on in later lessons. I won't dwell on that. But essentially, we are going to honor our work. If it was within our scope, it was done inappropriately, we show back up and do it right. I actually had to call a client one time where I could remember a piece of tile being a little bit crooked. I didn't change it, and it was just bothering me at night while I was sleeping. And so I called the client back and asked if I could come and change that piece of tile out. They'd already paid us, and I'd already been finished, but it actually was bothering me when I was thinking about it after the fact. And so I just said, would you let me come do that? Because I want to be free of this. And essentially that's our commitment to you, is to try to do it at an above level with the material and labor that we have available, and to deliver you an exceptional, near perfect product that lasts forever.